Hi guys.
Are we on?
We are on. We're always
Hi,
on.
guys.
What's up?
Hi.
Holly. Well, hello.
Who do we
Oh,
have
wait.
joining us today?
Yeah, yeah. It's our new host.
It's a
He's kind of
drive-by
weird.
fruiting.
It's Segina.
It's the Gina.
Speaking of Sedgina, we do have some new patrons.
Awesome.
Wait, did I just close Patreon? Oh no, I didn't. All right, hold on. We have three new patrons. I can't remember if I mentioned any of these people last time, but we have Jaron Cox.
Jaron
Hi.
Cox.
I
Hi,
feel like I may
Jaren.
have. I can't
Jaren.
remember if I said him last
I
week, but
don't
if
think.
if I did, welcome again, Jaron.
Welcome, welcome, welcome.
We
Yeah.
also have Evan Pasco,
All right. Welcome, Evan.
and
Evan
we
Pass.
have Noreen Axelson.
Hi, Noreen.
Noreen
Welcome.
Axelson.
We got three. So we basically got three new splinters.
Three
We did.
splinters.
We did.
Awesome.
And maybe,
That'd be
just
a good
maybe,
name. That'd be a good name for a podcast.
one
Yeah, it
one of
would.
these new wonderful patrons might buy a ticket to SplinterCon. Okay, so I feel like I need to make an announcement on the podcast because I realize that we have never mentioned where they can go buy tickets because we've been putting it on Patreon or on Discord, which are the only places you can do it. The reason why we have not said it is because we don't want people who are not patrons to buy tickets, even though I could just cancel the order. So if you're interested in going to SplinterCon, I think now we only have 14 or 13 tickets left. We did sell a couple more recently. Um, you need to go to Patreon or you need to go to Discord. And in there, in the SplinterCon tab on Discord, you will find the link to go purchase the tickets, and then it will give you a link to book your hotel. Or you can go to Patreon and find the post that I talk about SplinterCon in particular, and you can purchase your tickets there. One other thing that I would like to mention is because I do get this message fairly often, and it's saying, how do I get access to the Discord? If you become a patron or you are a patron and you want access to the Discord, all you need to do is go into your account on Patreon and add your Discord name. As soon as you do that, you will automatically get access to our Discord, which has been on fire lately. Have you guys noticed that?
I was on, I think,
They've been on it a lot
Saturday
lately.
afternoon. I'm kind of like a lurker on there, and I was like, I'm impressed. Everybody's
Yeah.
getting really animated on there. I like it. That's the
Yeah.
right word.
There's a lot of info trading out there.
Yeah, a
Holy
lot of naked
moly.
pics. Yeah,
Oh my God, a lot of nice pictures of wood.
yeah. Yeah. Oh, I do have clarification on our giveaway for the month of March.
What is it?
U.S. Tool and Fastener, baby.
Woo!
They're giving away two $100 gift cards to USToolandFastener.com.
You know what's really cool about that is we're going to be in their booth at JLC.
JLC. Oh, speaking of that, Ronnie,
Yes.
are you going to go to JLC?
It's highly questionable right now.
I
Yeah,
figured.
man.
Yeah.
You're a hurt
Yeah.
unit, dude.
Yeah, the timing of this is going to probably be, I don't want to project anything, but I think it might be
Too soon.
really with her father-in-law. Yeah.
Yep.
He's
Yep.
she just came home last night. She's been with him for the last 4 days, and she said he eats maybe a bite of food a day. He's just not hungry. But what's crazy, he's still going out and working on the farm. He's doing hay. He's doing all kinds of things. And I was doing a little research, and it says that that's a normal thing when you get towards the stages of like near the end of your life, that your appetite just shuts down. So I just feel like because so he's getting skinnier and skinnier by the day, and I guess the next step is he'll start getting weaker. But hospice said it was normal also.
Is he drinking water, fluids?
He's just drinking like Mountain Dew type drinks because he said it doesn't matter. He's like, I'm not spending the rest of my life drinking water.
Yeah.
He was drinking diets. He went and got regulars when he was with Cameron. He's like, no more of that stuff. I'm drinking the good stuff. So he's living off from that, and he just doesn't have appetite. So I feel like that even if he is still pushing through, it's going to probably be a bad time for us to leave.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's Cam's birthday's on Saturday too, though, right?
29th coming
29th.
up. Yeah, 29th.
Yeah, I think
Yeah,
that's
and
Saturday
is it?
of JLC. I think so.
Oh yeah. I thought you were saying this upcoming Saturday.
No. The
Oh, okay.
29th of JLC.
Yeah, and he's used to being out of town because it usually falls during spring break every year. We're usually always somewhere. So this year we may not be somewhere. We might not be anywhere.
Well,
But
we'll just FaceTime you when we're at Murphy's or
there,
Blake's.
there you go. There you go.
We'll
So
just
So
next
would you
year,
we'll
say
put you on the table with us, and you guys can hang with us.
there you go.
would you say it's like a 95% that you're not going to go?
I would say so because we're at, we're 2 weeks away. It's
Yeah,
about 2 weeks away. And the projection from the doctor was 2 months, and that actually falls right on the weekend of, which, doctors don't know for sure. But I strongly did not agree with the doctors until just about the past few days because I saw him on Saturday at a birthday party, our niece's birthday party, and he did not look the same. He's starting to get like his chest, you can see like his chest collarbone sticking out really far. His spine in the back is starting to stick out. He just looks, it's amazing how someone, when they lose like 30 pounds, how much older they look,
Yeah.
and more sickly. So
my
that makes me think it's not good. What were you gonna say,
my
Sedge?
brother in hospice was just skin on bone.
Yeah, that's what it's coming to. But
Yeah.
um,
It. Yep.
but
Totally. Totally.
he
Totally understand.
he's more
and-
ready than anyone else, and he keeps
Yep.
reminding everybody that. Everybody's upset. Cameron said when he stayed with him, he told me today that when he stayed with him, he was like, "Papa, it seems like everybody is upset about you leaving except for you." He's like, "I'm ready." He just keeps saying that. I'm ready. I've lived a full life and I'm ready. And every time he says that, it just makes me think about, being in that space mentally.
Yeah.
That's not a place I can imagine being yet. But I guess you
But
get there.
what's really cool is Cam spent some time with him, and he could see he can experience it because everybody's got to go through it. And Cam's pretty insightful guy. So young
Yeah.
man, I gotta stop calling him a kid because he isn't a kid anymore.
Yeah, it still feels like he is. But
Yeah, I know.
it is good for him to see that. I
Yes.
wasn't, my grandparents lived in other states, so they were either gone before I was born. I never really got to see that. So he's getting to see how life
Yes.
cycle works.
Yep.
So that's how it goes. But
Yeah.
he's going on a trip. Cameron's going on a trip this weekend, which he's glad that he's going to be able to go to that. It's a dirt bike trip to Georgia. It's like east of Atlanta with his friend and his dad, who rides. I was supposed to go, but due to my
Yeah, I don't think that would be a
broken
very
and-
good idea.
broken and a
Yeah,
half chest, I'm like, no, that would
Jesus.
just be a
Jesus.
tease.
Yeah, but you're
So
such
he's
a
going.
tough son of a gun. You'd probably goddamn go.
Oh, Cameron's tried to convince me to, and I'm like, I just don't think it's a good idea yet. So I'm going to hold off. We did ride our dirt bikes to Country Boy today, though, by the way, for
Oh,
lunch.
Jesus, Ronnie.
He was like, come on, Dad. But I said, don't expect me to do anything more than just ride. I kept it easy. So,
What kind
yeah,
of beer
fun
did you
stuff.
have?
Country Light is my standard lunch beer.
Nice.
Just kind of
Nice.
a,
I
real
love
light.
that. My
real light
standard
fun.
lunch beer.
That's my lunch
Yeah.
beer, 4%.
We're in Europe.
Yeah.
Ronnie, the reason I was asking about like if you thought you were like a 95% chance, because remember I told you I had that companion certificate.
Yes.
It expires
Yes.
before the 31st. So if you're not going to end up using it, I was actually thinking about offering it up to somebody here on the podcast and like,
Okay.
hey, if you want to go to
Okay.
JLC and it's you and somebody else,
Yeah.
hit me up. I mean, if you think
Good idea.
you're not gonna
Yeah.
go.
I feel like no matter what, it's not a good idea.
Right.
No matter
I
what
mean,
the
I
outcome.
agree.
That's
Yeah.
I
kind of
agree.
where I am. Yeah.
I agree.
It just seems like, but
You have
next
to be
year, next year, I can't see anything getting in the way of it. That's not a thing I want to miss. I'll do like GLC, and that's the only reason why I'll be missing it. But
Well, then I'll offer it up to one of our listeners if you're interested in going to JLC. So I have a companion certificate that has to be used through Delta before the 31st of March. And so basically, if you're looking to go and you want to take somebody with you, you could basically get 2 flights for practically the price of one. You have to buy a ticket in order to use the companion, but I can transfer it. So what if you're interested in going and you're thinking about going and you're on the fence and you want to save a little bit of money, hit me up, contact me. I would have to book your flight and everything, and then you could just transfer me the money. We can do it
And
that way for
it's Providence usually is where
it's
people fly
Providence,
into,
Rhode
correct?
Island. Yeah. And
DVD.
this particular companion certificate is one of the premium ones. So you can either book in like Comfort Plus and get a companion certificate or first class and get a companion certificate. But I'm not going to use it and I don't want it to go to waste. So if somebody else out there can use it, by all means, hit me up. We can work it out and you can come out there and hang out. It's a great time. So
Yeah. Cool.
I wanted to offer it to you first there, Ronnie, but I just know that
Yeah,
right now
no,
is
thanks.
a terrible time.
Thanks. Yeah. Yep.
Maybe one of our listeners will now attend. That would be cool.
Yeah.
So I got a lot done today.
What'd you
I
do?
saw
And
your
yesterday.
picture. It
I
looked
saw-
awesome.
I saw it in person on Saturday. It is freaking impressive.
It looks
Looks
so
good.
much better now, though, Sedge, with all the trim and everything. Like, I took it all down already. Like, the doors are off, everything's off. I'm going to sand tomorrow morning before I go golf, and then Thursday I will be finishing everything. So, the goal is to get everything in by Friday, minus the left side. I still have to do the doors and I still have to do the drawer fronts, but I also need to build 50 metal drawers. Not 50 literally, but I mean, that's a huge thing. And I just found out that my 30-inch drawer slides arrived at Richelieu, so I got to go pick those up on Thursday.
You know
So
I was going to say it reminds me a lot of a kitchen I saw once that was like $250,000. The cabinets. It reminds me. It's a company
Well-
out of California, and I can't remember the name of it, but I'll find that picture and send it to you. It reminds me a lot of that. The way it's just solid.
Was it us talking about it on the podcast last week, or was it a separate conversation? But we were saying, oh yeah, we were talking about the house, going and looking at the house, and like the taste that we have, we can't afford the taste that we have if we were building a home because you had to get this stuff. I was looking at it today when it was all like done, and I'm like, you would like this to get this in a house, it would be a multi-million-dollar home.
Oh, it would for sure.
I told you on Saturday, it's a piece of furniture. Your
Yeah.
island's a piece of furniture. That bank of cabinets is a piece of furniture.
Yeah.
They're to die for. Ronnie, when I saw it in person, I was like, whoa.
Yeah, it looks good. It reminds me.
Oh.
Do you remember me talking about the house that had the refrigerator panels that were like the wall you sent today? The refrigerator panels were like that also, and you just touched it and it would open. It was like power open from just like tapping on it. It reminds me so much of that. It
Yeah,
looked
when I
really
was
nice and clean.
when I was a kid, we had a kitchen remodel, and we had a Sub-Zero refrigerator, and it had. We were like the hit of the neighborhood. We had wood panels that
Oh,
matched
yeah.
everything in the kitchen on our
Oh, wow.
refrigerator.
That was early on right there.
That was in, you ready? That was in 72, 73.
Oh wow. Yeah, that was really early.
I didn't even know they had refrigerators back then.
Yeah, it was
me.
ice box. It was almost like the ice box you saw in our kitchen. It was one of those.
So it is going around now. Everybody at Festool is going, yeah, Sedge is 100.
Yeah. Sorry.
You share a birthday with Festool.
Yeah, Jesus Christ.
I had already had like 5 high noons by the time they gave that speech, so it felt like a perfect opportunity.
So at the marketing meeting, somebody said right afterwards, everybody's laughing, Sedge is 100. And Angela goes, oh, that was funny. Who said that? And I go, who do you think? It was Bent Boy. She goes, oh, that figures.
Oh man. When I got all the stuff on today and I was taking the picture, what I thought was interesting is that just by putting the trim pieces on, there was no open spaces. It looked like it was just always there, right? Like it's just a wall. Like that was always the pantry, you know? This has been a fun project because I've had so many, I don't want to say learning curves, but just the way that I had to build it was so different than I normally do. So it's presented a whole new thing of challenges. And there's little things here and there that I would have done differently or that I'm seeing now that I'm putting the trim in and no one else will ever notice it, but I do. but I love it. I mean, it's great. I think the next big eye-opening experience is going to be putting those drawers together. But from what I've looked in the manual and stuff, it seems pretty straightforward. I mean, it's really just bolt together stuff, and then you slide some 5/8 inch MDF in there. So the problem
Are
is
you
I just
gonna
have a lot of them to do.
are you gonna do one and test out and make sure everything's good first and then move forward?
Oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah,
Yeah,
for
I'll do
sure.
one, make sure it's all the same. So basically, the side rails for the drawer are cut to length, so I don't have to do anything. The front rail, I will have to cut to length, and then all those metal rails attached together with hardware. And then I have to put a panel in the bottom, which has to be 5/8 inch. So I got 5/8 inch MDF, and I'm going to paint it close to either a exact color match. I'm going to go to Sherwin-Williams and see if they can color match the aluminum, or I'll just paint it the color that you see behind me, which is pretty dang close.
Hmm.
Um, but again, it's a panel that is on the bottom that you'll never see, and then I have to add a piece to the back, which again you'll never see. So the sides and the front, which when you open it up, it'll always be visible, will all be the metal stuff. So it should be as easy as just installing the drawer slides, making the boxes, putting them in, clicking them in place, and they're good to go. So um, I just was thinking about it though the other day, and I only got 3 4x8 sheets. And with as many drawers as I need to do, I don't know if that's enough. I really don't, because I think one sheet alone is going to be needed for the um, left-hand side cabinet. And then
Gosh,
I'm doing trays in the two uppers, which are 48
Huge.
inches wide, 30
Huge.
inches deep. So that's basically another sheet. So yeah, I think I'm going to end up being short. So what I think I'll prioritize is the bottom on the left, and then the pantry cabinets, and then the big trays that go up top. If I need to get another sheet, I'll just get another sheet and do that later.
Where'd you get it, Etna?
Etna, yeah, they were the only people I could find that had 5/8 inch MDF.
Hmm.
So
Interesting.
basically, like anytime I need anything in particular, Etna usually has it, or they can get it,
they
which
can't
is
get
really
quarter
nice.
sawn Sapile. Just FYI, can't get it.
Oh, you really?
Mm-mm. I was surprised.
Well, now I want to
Yeah.
ask.
Yeah, I
Now
asked
I
him
want
and
to
see.
ask.
He looked in it up and he's like, no, they can only do quarter sawn like American, like cherry, oak, I think maple are the three he said they can get. Red oak. But you can get most things there, like you said.
Yeah. So yeah, it's been good, man. I love days like today. Yesterday was a great day, but then did you guys see my stories how I screwed up that panel?
I saw where you wrote the note to yourself, and I think that was a good idea.
Yeah. So I have a
I
flip
saw
up
you
door.
reading from a note. I saw that, and I was like, okay, I couldn't get my my sound on because I was in a meeting.
Well, I was the flip up doors that I have?
Yep.
So I'm doing one of those on the right-hand side above the refrigerator. And I mark all of my show faces with 3M, painter's tape, and I'll mark on it. The problem is that on all of my cabinets, the show faces are always on the interior portion. So for this particular door, I was looking at it, I laid all the markings out, and I was looking at the blue tape, and I went to go drill the hinge holes, and I got like 1/2 of a millimeter in depth drilling it out, and realized I'm drilling the hinge holes into the show face.
Oh,
So I stopped, and it was just enough to where it can't be fixed. It's ruined. And I'm like, you have got to be kidding me. So I had to basically go cut another panel today, re-edge band it, and then do it. So I did a post, and I put like a bunch of blue painter's tape on the front and marked on it. It was like a note to myself telling me, like, don't be an idiot again. Like the hinges go on the back. This is the front. But it all worked out really good because the panel that I actually recut ended up matching the tall doors almost perfectly.
you
So-
know, I learned that trick late from Sedge about writing all over the board. I didn't ever think about that as an option, but he always writes, with his Pika all over the things, up, down, 1, 2, 3, 4. And first time I saw that, I was like, well, I guess you can do that. I've never thought about that as an option. So especially when you're going to sand or paint it, it doesn't matter. But I've found lately it's been really handy to have chalk close by,
Yep.
like white chalk. And especially like when I'm working with walnut and things like that, it's very visible and it can catch it also. Like my triangle when I'm getting ready to do the glue up and numbering it and all that. I really like using chalk. Just want to throw it out there.
Yeah.
It's easier to get off to with
Yeah, it
pencil.
goes off.
I love it when
Yeah.
it's easier to get off.
Ay, ay, ay.
Speaking of getting off, Sedge, what have you been up to?
It's hard to keep up these days of all the
Man, what
stuff
a
going
perfect
on.
segue.
It was. It was. Okay, so last week was I had to switch some dates for the build off, so that's now in June. I ran into a few hiccups and I had to put out a huge fire at work, and that was like what I did at work last week, but now everything worked out perfect because something else was happening at the time. Um, right when you think, you got some free time, people say, "Hey, what are you doing in May? Hey, what are you doing in June? Hey, what are you doing in July?" My year is almost all booked up when I look at my calendar. I'm like, what the hell happened this year? You
Yeah.
know? So,
Life.
you know what? That's what it is. And it's all good. I like to be busy, busy, busy. But what have I been really up to? In the shop, Chris, well, my highlight of the weekend was Saturday morning going to watch Leo play basketball.
Oh,
I saw
yeah.
that picture.
It was so much fun. It brought back so many memories. I didn't know I kind of knew what to expect, but I didn't. God, he was playing great. And Max, of course, was adorable. And we went over and hung out for a little while at the Ben's house, and I got to see the kitchen. And like I said earlier, I'm really impressed because the stories and pics, the little vids you've done, doesn't do any justice. It is really something. It's very
Thank you.
impressive. I mean, really
That's cool.
impressive. It's a piece of furniture. And then Sunday, Chris came over and we're getting ready. He got a lot of equipment to do the live feed. We did new DJI mics, so he could wear one, I could wear one, and it would kind of like simulcast. And we did a dry run on YouTube on his channel just to see if it would work. It was flawless. And then he said, "Let's just do it." And we put it on Patreon. And Corey came on and was like, going, "Okay, it's cool." And we left it up. Of course, you can go watch it if you're a patron on Sedge Tool Patreon page. But everybody said it was good. Dirk said it sounded great, sounds great. But we got to work with because somebody said it was only coming in on one mic. And Chris did a blooper reel. We put that on Patreon, and we're having a lot of fun getting that up and running. So we're
Cool.
pretty excited about this weekend coming up on the 16th. We're gonna on Sunday we're gonna go live on YouTube to announce everything and do a live feed. So we want to. So here's what overall what I'm getting at. You guys know I love live. I just love it, and that's what I live for. I love doing hiccups and everything, or having hiccups, stuff going wrong. But boy, it was a blast from the past because in April of 2020 we did our first festival live, and it was on two iPhones. And Chris has gotten so unbelievable with this, and I was like waiting for something to go wrong. It was flawless. It just went really smooth. And I was like, as we're packing up, he just looks at me and goes, "How is that?" I went, "I'm ready." And here's the best part about this Sunday and going forward. Uh, Chris is going to be out in front of the camera with me.
Oh, good.
And if he
Oh,
needs to
cool.
grab the camera because I'm running a demo or somebody wants me to do something, it's going to be from 11 to 12 on Sunday. So anybody listening, the patrons listening here, come join us. It's all free on YouTube Live. So I'm pretty stoked about that. Uh, Other than that, I'm balls to the wall, getting ready for the build off now in June. I just got a confirmation my boys from Shaper will be here.
Have they started inviting people to that event yet?
Not yet. We're actually putting the list together right now. It's all new people coming in, like we like to do in Lebanon, is have all new people. And we're doing a build off down in Tampa at the Tampa School of Woodworking, and I think it's the first or last week of September or first week of October. It's right after our SplinterCon. I have to fly out on Tuesday to do that in Tampa. I mean, this fall is crazy, guys. Um, I got a message from Allie, and he said, "Man, we're planning on." And he's probably listening to this. Of course, he is. We're planning on this, so I just got to run a few things, Allie, through with Marianne, and you and Maria. Sounds like you're coming, so I'm pretty stoked about that. Marianne is too. So,
When is the build off in June?
let me look. I should know it off the my brain, but it's June 18th and 19th and 20th.
Oh man.
Where you going to be?
Heart Soul's doing their 150-year celebration on the 18th and 19th.
Cool.
So that is where I will be.
Cool.
Wah, wah, wah. It always works. It never works out. That's all right. I've already been to one, so I can't go to another.
Well,
I could have come and helped.
yes, you can come help on Friday and be part of Festool Live.
Oh,
Hey,
I might be back in time.
what's funny is I there's so much happening in Indianapolis this year. My buddy from Mexico, Bill, who used to work with me at Festool, he said, "Sedge, can I crash at your pad?" I go, "What for?" He goes, "Me and my buddy who owns a brewery. He's the head brewer down here in Mexico. We entered three beers at the World Craft Beer Championship." I go, "What? It's in Indianapolis?" He goes, "Yeah."
Oh, that's cool.
I had no idea. So he goes, there's a 10-20% chance we'll make it, but we entered some beers up there. I go, "Oh, wicked cool." So, I mean, so much is happening in Indianapolis. It's crazy.
Wonder if Country Boy's going to be there.
Oh, yeah, I imagine.
I would think so.
Yeah. Yeah. It sounds like it's really cool. And somebody else threw something at me today. It's something happening in May. So I got to run it by at Festool to do this. It's for a high school or two. So I may do that it's during the week, during my regular work hours. So, oh, there's so much going on,
Yeah.
you know. So, Ronnie, what have you been up to, man? Healing?
Yeah. I'm picking a scab off right now off my arm. It's starting to kind of be free. Part of it is.
Oh God.
Yeah, I've been trying to take it easy, but I'm getting a lot done still. I can stand up like no problem. It's just like I don't have the arm strength that I normally do. It hurts too bad on my chest, so I have to do like half strength is what I would call it. And luckily Cameron's around a lot, and I just have him do it. It's the first time I've ever had to do that in like my life of saying, I shouldn't do that, shouldn't do this, shouldn't do that. It's probably gonna be like that for a while. That's been hard to get used to because I still go and grab something and I'm like, oh. The worst would be if I would explain would be like if I was doing a barbell curl.
Yep.
That would be the worst. It feels you can feel it. It feels like it's gonna break in there. Or
Wow.
picking something up overhead. If I go to reach for it like a sustainer today off my shelf,
Yeah.
the lightest thing feels like it weighs 1,000 pounds.
Wow.
So it makes you appreciate how that rib structure, what that is.
Yeah.
Your ribs are kind of like the structure that holds everything together. You know, it's like I never really thought about that way because it hurts right and left arm. It doesn't matter, even though it's on the left hand side. It just
Yeah.
you realize how much that moves when you do everything.
Hmm.
It's a very important part of your body. I've realized
Yeah. It's a central connection area.
it really is. It really is. And I was actually going down a YouTube rabbit hole about it because I didn't understand, but now I understand that from your sternum, cartilage comes out almost halfway to the middle of your chest. and then
Hmm.
bone starts at that point. And that cartilage is flexible enough to allow you to breathe and do everything you need to do and
Hmm.
still provide protection. But the place where the cartilage and the rib come together is what can separate. And it feels just like a broken rib, even though technically it's not broken. And I got to give Steve credit, man. Steve Iadarola, did I get that right?
Mm, who
He
knows?
diagnosed it. He told me that's what it was when we were there. He's like, I bet you separated your cartilage from your rib. And he told me all about it. And it's exactly what it was.
Ugh.
But we're still getting a lot of things done. I'm working on a countertop that I've been working on forever. She keeps, we were going to have it done last week on Friday. And she's like, yeah, we're going to be out of town. So you don't really have to be in a hurry on that. We did not even waste a second. We're like, on to something else. We've got other things to do. So now we're rescheduling that. So it's been really fun. There was like one thing I did a glue up, and then like a week or two went by, and then I flattened it, and then a week or two went by. I did this. It's great to do a project like that. You just get to take your time on it. Today I cut the radius on the front of the bar top. I used the CNC to cut on a 1/2 inch piece of plywood the radius, the arch, and since it's 10 feet long, I couldn't cut the whole thing on my CNC because I'm limited to 8 feet. But I just cut a half pattern and I used the ball bearing and the 2200 and just went along it and then flipped it over. Did it on the other. It worked perfectly. Perfectly. I'd say the only thing I messed up on is I should have made it be an inch longer than what the actual halfway point was so that I could allow for the bit overlap. So I
Mm-hmm.
ended up having to have a bit where it had a little point in the middle, and I just sanded it off with the RL150. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I wasn't able to take the bearing all the way, or I would have just went into the countertop.
Oh, gotcha.
So I drew it. I drew the radius, the full countertop in SketchUp, and cut it in half, and just cut that out. But I should have cut it out 1 inch over from half, so that I could have some overlap on it. But I made it work. But that's how I would do that differently now. And now I'm just going through the grits as of like 10 minutes before this call to get ready for Rubio. So
Nice.
it'll be fun. And then tomorrow I'm going to cut the sinkhole out of the other one. I cut out dash holes and sinkholes in
I
here.
was gonna
What do you
say, is a
what are you gonna
sinkhole
use?
like a dash hole?
What am I going to use?
The track saw?
I've got a
Hey, 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 hey! Don't strain.
I cut out a template on the
Template.
CNC for the for
Oh,
the
that's right.
sink.
You have a humongous CNC.
Yeah, so
You're
I
not
just
a
cut
real
that
woodworker.
out.
I forgot.
I cut that out, and I'm just going to use the clamps, double stick tape. Probably can do it just with clamps. And I'm going to cut it out close with like the Carvex saw, and then just finish it out with the ball bearing guide, and it'll give it a nice clean cut. So it's an undermount sink, and I already have the
Mm-hmm.
sink, which is nice. And I'm going to go ahead and cut out for her faucets. I have those too. I'm just going to have them all in there. So we're going to
Nice.
actually set it in place on silicone, and I told her I'm not hooking up the plumbing
Nope.
just because I think that's smart. Those baskets on the sinks can be a pain sometimes. I've had some leak before that I've had tightened down. They could not be more tight. And I've talked to my brother-in-law and my father-in-law about it, and they said that you got to lay that in silicone. They say use painter's putty, I mean plumber's putty, but they use silicone because they said that plumber's putty can still leave voids.
Yeah.
And I'm just gonna let them deal with it because it's like a bronze. It's a really cool sink. It's like a bronze stainless.
Really?
I don't know how. I really am tempted. I'd love to see if it can
With walnut?
scratch. Yes.
Ah, babe, that looks
Ooh.
super good.
Yeah. It's like a bronze, just like if you took stainless and made it bronze. It's pretty cool. I've never seen a sink like that before. I like it.
Will you be able to take a picture after it's all installed?
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I'd like to see that.
We're gonna set it in place, and I'll get pictures then. And it just won't have the sink baskets in it, but it'll be there's the upper bar top has got the radius, and the lower part is just pretty much a rectangle with the
Cool.
sink location in it. So yeah, that'll be a good one to get done. And then we're also we're doing quotes right now, and we're taking care of things. Had to replace a water heater yesterday.
Oh boy.
I feel like we've replaced them all now in all the rentals. I think that was the last one. It had a
Jesus.
it had a 12 years ago sticker on it, inspection
Oh,
sticker. So it was due. It was time. So that was
How did you do that with your
what
injury?
well, Cameron was there, which was
Okay.
nice.
Thank God for Cameron.
And we also used something that wasn't intended for. We used the dolly, the hand truck that comes with the CSC 50. Um, we used that for the taking the water heater out. It's a one story. It's in the house, the one that's over 100 years old, the duplex, the one that had to fix the stairs. We went straight out the front door with it, and we got to the front porch. We just let it fall over. Did I say that we weren't able to get the water out of it? I didn't say that, did I? No, I didn't say that. Yeah, the bottom, the drain thing, we had the water hose hooked up, and I went to undo the drain, and it was coming out in front of that. And I called my brother-in-law, who's a plumber, and I was like, "What do you do when that happens?" He's like, "You take it out with water in it." And I was like, "Oh man." And he said it was between 400 and 450 pounds with water in it. So we had to take it out full. The other option would have been they make transfer pumps with little hoses that once you take the water pipes off the top, you could stick the hose down in there and do a transfer pump. But I don't have one of those, but I might because the last three water heaters I've changed out have had a problem with the drain.
Oh, good.
Sometimes
Is
they're
it because
blocked
like
with
sediment and
sediment.
stuff blocks it?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, usually that's when the water heater goes out, it's already has sediment at the bottom of it. But the trick for that is that you usually turn the drain on before you unhook the water, and the water pressure will push that out into the hose and like break it free. But I couldn't even get to that point because when I turned the screw down there to open it up, it just started coming out around the tank and not the part where the hose was connected. He said that's really common. They get old and they just make those kind of halfway. You're technically supposed to do that once every year or two. You're supposed to hook a hose up and drain it, but
Yep.
nobody does that. No one does. So,
That's why they say water heaters are good for 6 years now.
and that's exactly what the warranty is on this, 6 years.
Yep.
I do it, Ronnie.
Do you? You also change your anode rods too?
Absolutely. Well,
Yeah.
I don't. I have a
Yeah.
service that comes and
No, that's
does it.
good if you do.
Sure.
That's good. I mean, the way I look at it, if we get 6 years out of a water heater, we're great. If I can get a few years out of a dishwasher, we're great. The one that surprises me the most lately is refrigerators and microwaves are not lasting as long as they used to.
Hmm.
But like I was in Lowe's like 3 weeks ago and they had the stainless steel Whirlpool over the range for half off. And I bought two of them and I don't even need them because I know I will need them. So I just picked up two of them for 200 and they're normally like $400 or $500.
Mm-hmm.
So we're starting to stockpile as we see things, and that helps a lot because those seem to go out. The microwaves used to last forever. They don't anymore.
Yep. I replaced my refrigerator. I had the builder's refrigerator in here. It was 16 and a half years old.
Yeah.
That was a good, and that's a builder's refrigerator, but I put in that new stainless one that I talked about on the podcast that I got a killer
Yeah.
deal on. And boy, night and day, and also the efficiency of the new microwaves. I had a builder's microwave in here for 17 years, and we put a new one in. It's like, whoo, this is what a microwave is supposed to work like.
Yeah. Yeah, they're nice. They just don't seem to last as long.
No.
Just seem to go out. And one of the things that we've had go out in microwave, a lot of people may not be aware, that little credit card silver card that goes inside of it. Have you ever noticed that? There's a little silver card inside of every microwave. It looks like a piece of cardboard. It kind of looks like the same thing you see on the microwave meals. They have that little silver thing on there.
Really?
If that gets even a speck of food on it, it can cause the microwave to like ignite and like pop and seem like it has problems. But those are replaceable. You can order them on Amazon and they're like nothing. They're just like a cardboard. But I can't remember the purpose of it, but
Where
it's
are
kind of like-
they?
they're on the side, usually on the side towards the top, and they just clip in. But if they get like a speck of food jumps up on there, or if they get damaged anyway,
Is it inside the microwave?
yes, yes. And it's the best way for me to explain it. I don't remember the exact word. It's almost like it's the way it grounds itself. And if that's messed up, the microwave just doesn't work right. But I think sometimes people throw microwaves away and don't realize that that's all it is.
Huh.
The most common
know-
is it gets a splatter on there.
You know what I learned recently?
What's that?
You know the glass on the microwave, how you can never like clean on the inside of it or whatever? Apparently that just slides right out on the front side.
I didn't know that.
I saw a TikTok of it, and some lady was like,
Really?
I was today years old when I learned this." And she like takes it, and she like takes her hand, and like the glass just slides right
Really?
out because you can't clean the inside of it because there's that whatever in front of it. So the glass on the exterior portion actually on I would say apparently like 95% of these microwaves, it just slides right out and slides right in. So you can slide it out to
Well,
clean it. I tried, couldn't get it to slide because it's probably never been removed. And I actually thought of taking my Grabo
yeah.
and putting the Grabo on the glass. And then now I have a handle and then I can just take it and slide it out and clean that. But I'm worried that the Grabo is going to shatter the glass.
That would be a great video to post and be like, easy way to clean your microwave and show you're using the Grabo. Everybody be like, but I don't have a Grabo.
Well, you need to
Yeah.
buy one. Affiliate link down below.
Affiliate link below.
That would be funny. Everybody would go after you for that. They're like, I don't have one.
Speaking of affiliates, Sedge, I think I told you this. I am now an affiliate for cabinetparts.com.
Woo! I saw that on your video.
I've ordered that
Yeah.
from there before.
And I went, that's anytime I order anything offline, because I'll
Yes.
try to get a lot of stuff at Richelieu just because it's local and I can go pick it up.
That's exactly.
But
Me too.
If I ever have to order anything online, I always go to cabinetparts.com because they always have what I'm looking for every
Yeah,
single time.
and a great price.
Yeah. You can
And it's
basically
up-
get close to like contractor pricing through Richelieu through Cabinet Parts. Yeah.
Yeah. So that's where I order if I need to order online as well. But I just like going to Richelieu and getting it.
Yeah. But I didn't know they had it. I just went to the website down at the bottom, scrolled all the way to the bottom. It said, become an affiliate. And I did. And they approved it. And I put it on the thing and it already has over 1,200 clicks
Good.
Sweet.
already.
Wow.
It's only a
I'm-
3% commission.
Are you amazed like I am regularly how many clicks you can have on something and how many actual purchases? It's unbelievable sometimes.
Oh, yeah.
But you can have like 1,200 clicks for 4 purchases. You're like, really? Wow.
Yeah.
Same with the story. You can have a link on the story and it's seen 6,000 times and clicked on 7.
Yeah.
It's
But
like,
what I
wow.
you know how we can check because we're all Amazon affiliates, right? And it's not a big percentage. What do we get? 3%? If
Yeah, it's
that.
Yeah, at the
3
most.
3 to
If not
5.
1%.
So, do you know what I wish I could do? I'm trying to find a way. I was kind of picking around on my Amazon account. I'd like to see how many of one thing I've sold. Do you guys know how to do that?
I don't. They used to back in the day have like a chart that you could go to and you could actually sort it by items that they purchased. But when they did updates to it years ago,
Yeah.
they like I have not figured out how to find.
Because
I used to be able to
'cause-
see exactly what people ordered.
I can't.
well,
You
I
still
see
can. It's
I
hard
see
though.
what people order every day, but I want to see I want to click on how many over the last 6 months I sold of those Mitsubishi pencil sharpeners because
you-
almost every day I sell 1 or 2.
Have you I'm not taking it to this level, but have you seen, are you able to export out like a CSV file?
Yes,
Is that
you are.
that's what
Then
you would do
you
then.
could do that, and then you could
Put
sort
it in Excel or
alphabetically.
numbers. Yeah, put it
Oh.
in there, and you could have somebody. I'm sure somebody at Festival would show you how to do it. Somebody in accounting, they know how to
Yeah.
do that. You can set up a pivot table in Excel where you
Yep.
can actually
Yep,
you can
yep.
ask it questions based on
Yep.
what's in the rows, and they can
Oh, yeah.
you could get everything from that and just do it within the date range.
Gotcha.
Yeah, yeah. I'm surprised how archaic the reporting system is online. Like
Yeah.
you really have to go. Jason, you were talking about it's really hard. You have to go, you have to click up there and it says earnings. You have to change it to products sold, I believe. It's a little drop down thing, and then it'll show you products sold, and it always shows it to you in the wrong order. You always
Oh,
see
yeah,
the
yeah.
same thing first, and you've got to go backwards to look. It's really weird the way they do
Mhm.
it.
Yeah, but I could see what sells every day there.
Yeah, yeah. If you
Yeah.
have it set, it remembers your setting once you go in there, and it'll stay like that.
Yeah.
And not show you the thing you don't want to see. But it's always interesting to see. And I like to see the things people buy that I didn't steer them that
Yeah,
way.
yeah. Like
Yeah.
I was like, first time I saw that years
Me
ago, I was
too.
like, diapers?
Me too. Dungeons and Dragons, like the
Ketchup?
ultimate layer. You're like, what?
The goal is always back in the day when you used to get like 10%. It was great. And I would always
wow.
pray that somebody would click on the link and buy that tool. And while they were at it, they would empty out their cart because 95% of the money that I make on Amazon is actually not from any of the links that I even put.
Right,
It
right.
has nothing to do with it. They just
Yeah.
Do you know
decide to buy whatever's in their cart that day and I get credit for it.
Yeah.
I just had it happen on YouTube for the first time. They clicked on my link apparently and they bought something else on YouTube affiliate and it's not anything that they bought four of them and I
Yeah.
didn't realize they did that on YouTube as well.
It's funny. We since you were talking about that, uh, Chris and I have gone back, and there's certain things that we because Lowe's is part of YouTube, right?
Hmm.
And Chris was all excited. He came over and said, "Sedge, look at this." And I go, "What?" He goes, "I went, oh wow," because we just have a couple of videos that are YouTube affiliated shopping. And he goes, "Look what we did." And I went, "Oh, that's kind of cool." You just
Yeah.
don't know, and I guess it's you get a good hit with Lowe's and Home Depot, but more so Lowe's.
Well,
I couldn't do a Home Depot,
from an
huh?
affiliate standpoint, YouTube affiliate,
Yeah,
the YouTube shopping, it
yeah.
blows every other affiliate program out of the
Hmm.
water
I know
in
because you get
terms of
10% from Home Depot, 20% from Lowe's.
yeah, and
Acme's
then
good too.
you can choose like you
Yep.
could do a DeWalt router and you can find the company that's offering the biggest commission and it blows Amazon out of the water. And I think they did that by design. Eventually, one day, I
Yes.
think it'll come down, but they're
Hmm.
trying to become, the powerhouse. And by giving these massive things, the problem that I have found with it is that it's getting better now, but it's not as easy when you have a bunch of things like Festool and Lamello and
Yep.
Right,
Hammer and all
right,
these brands that just aren't readily available.
Hmm.
Um,
right.
but if you have stuff that is easily accessible in the home stores and stuff, I can imagine
Well,
people are making a killing off of that.
oh yeah, yeah. Well, there's a lot of makeup lines that I use, and it's all on YouTube
Yeah,
shopping.
Maybelline. Yeah, I know Maybelline's your favorite. That
Maybelline,
one's on there.
That's
Revlon.
that's Segina.
Said,
Sagina.
well, hello.
You should you should get doctored up someday. Come to festival and be like, say this. Has Sedge ever told you about his sister Segina? They'd be like,
No.
oh wow, but the resemblance is uncanny.
Yeah.
I have a
Gina.
I have a little bit of an update on the home thing that we talked about last week.
Oh
You guys want to
yeah.
hear it?
Yeah.
Which this actually will lead us to something we can talk about right after this, which
Okay.
Jeffrey Fitzsimmons suggested that we should chat about it. Um, I had a call with the realtor that we were talking to, Leo's friend's mother, that we know. Her husband, who's in the National Guard, he's currently in Saudi Arabia, and he's a lender, and so we got on a call and we kind of talked about it. He's like, "Yeah, you have a couple of options. You could go like a conventional style. You could go VA, but I'm gonna have to dig into what like a VA home building loan looks like because we haven't actually done one before, and I know there's a lot of stringent rules to it and all this other stuff." Thursday, we have a meeting with the builder that is building the properties on the lots that we are interested in. So we'll know more on Thursday if it's even a reality right now. If we have a kind of a top line, if we don't think we can get in there for that, then we're either going to say, at least we know now, we know how the process works, we know what to expect. Maybe we need to save, X amount of money before we decide to do something like this, or wait till the interest rates come down or something. I don't know. But because we talked about it last week, Jeff said, I would love to hear you guys kind of talk about a little bit of what would your dream shop look like if you were to get to build it now? And I think it
Ooh.
came up because we were talking about like, I want to be able to have a house that I can like build a shop and have it built into the thing. So this is something I've been thinking about a lot. I thought that there's a couple different ways that we could do this. Maybe we could like break it down into categories. And the first one that I thought would be interesting is like, what do you think? Like knowing, so said you're in a 20 by 30 roughly. I'm in a 20 by 30. Ronnie, yours is obviously much bigger, but you're getting ready to extend it. Like what would be the perfect size?
Ugh.
What would be the perfect size for you? I'll start. I would say mine's a 20 by 30 now. I think if I had a 30 by 40. I think that would be the ideal shop size for me, but I would really love like a 30 by 50 and then make that additional space an office. Like I would love to have like a office space slash hangout spot slash, little lounge area. So 30 by 50 or even maybe like a, 35 by 45 or, something like that, but just enough space for me to get the roughly 30 by 40 with the addition of an office. So that would be my ideal size. So not much bigger than what I'm currently working in now.
What about you, Sedge?
40 by 60, if not bigger. 2-story, where Marianne has a quilting studio on a mezzanine, and I have an office upstairs. But a 40
I
by
didn't think
60.
about the
I just did
upstairs
the
part.
math. 2,400. I had 1,800 square feet, and that was a business. And I thought it was tight. And I know it'd be just me, but Ronnie, when I visited yours, I saw where you could pull vehicles in. You had lumber storage.
Mm-hmm.
Um, right now, I have that 20 by whatever. What is it? 20 by 30? What is it? Is that what I have?
20 by 30, yeah,
20 by
roughly.
30. Then I put everything in the shed. I got the shed, and I'm so tight right now. And I know it's 2,400 square feet, but every time I think, oh, this is big enough, it's never big enough.
Mm-hmm.
There's a lot of stuff that I'd like to have. I think I'm going to live forever. Sometimes I feel like I'm just getting started all over again. I thought I was completely downsized and but now I want to pump it up a little.
Yeah.
I like
So
the idea of the second floor. Just to be clear, my office would also be a golf simulator,
see, I mean,
but that's
yeah,
okay. If it's
yeah,
if it's
you can't have a big enough shop.
if it's 10
But
feet wide by 30 feet long, I have golf simulators on one side, my desk and
see,
everything is on the other, and a seating area in the middle. It's perfect. But I like
yeah,
the idea of the second level because then you're maximizing. So then you have more shop space on the floor and
but
you're taking advantage of a little bit of space up top.
and you could have I call it a rumpus room. You could have a man. Everybody calls it a man cave, but you could have a place you could go up there and kick back and relax a little.
Mm-hmm.
You know, have a kegerator or whatever that everybody could go chill and relax a
Damn
little.
it, you're
And you could
making
call it an office. You could have a bar with put your laptop on. But Marianne and I've always dreamt of having a home in the country where it's a separate shop. I always joked around where I'd get downsize to 1,500 or 2,000 square feet and get a 10,000 square foot shop. Jokingly, but yeah. So a shop can never be so big, but yeah, I still dream about big shops, even though I'm dreading that I'd have to move out of this thing. You know,
Mm-hmm.
moving is just, oof. And I like where I
yeah.
live. But what happens in 3, 4, 5, 6 years, and I retire from Festool if they let me, and who knows where Sedge Tool will be then?
Mm-hmm.
But you never know. Uh, so
So what did you say the size was?
40 by 60, 2,400 square feet.
40 by 60. What about you,
Yep.
Ronnie?
I'm still happy with my 30 by 32 main area that right now the boat's taking up a big part of it. Once that goes out, I can get things arranged where it makes sense. But that's not everything. Like Sedge says, it's nice to have the place to pull in. I have the other place for the CNC, which is a 24 by 32 area. I would like to do a lift in there. Cameron and I seem to always be working on car stuff too. That luckily has a 12-inch floor up there, so I could put a two-post lift, which two-post lifts are awesome because you can take the wheels off. The four-post lift, you have to have the wheels still on the car. It's kind of a drawback. So I could see us getting that and turning that more into working on the all the things we work on. Other than that, um, we've talked about the back. I'd like to have an area that's big enough to be assembling a boat that's up to like 30 feet. So it'd be like a 30 some by 20 addition that's just for the assembly of like a boat project, and it's not in the tool area. And you all also hit on the other thing that I would like to do, and it would be on the front side of my building, right by the stairs, build a little, that would be the officey kind of hangout place. It's also the best where the light is. The light, the sun would be come up on the left side of the window and it would come down where it is right now. You can see it would be sunny all day on that side.
Mm-hmm.
Because the back side is the side that's the north side. It doesn't ever really get sun, which is nice because it keeps it cool too.
Yep.
But also pointing out that it's good to also think in sections because you have to think about heating and cooling. And it's nice when you have it separated out. So, say you're not working in your huge shop area, but you are in your hangout spot, you can just have the conditioned air spaces different. You don't have to have
Mm-hmm.
the whole thing, you know. Because my middle section where my CNC is, I don't ever run heat in there. And it's fine. If I have to cut something at CNC side, I spend limited time up there anyway. And it never really gets colder than like 35, 40 in that side in the dead of the winter. But usually it's comfortable because it's sandwiched between two different sides. So my thinking is mainly that it's like not just all about having one big square, it's about having sections
Mm-hmm.
Hmm.
sectioned out. I like the idea of going bigger. I've always liked the idea of the loft kind of office
Mm-hmm.
that overlooks. But the only drawback with that is you've got the heat rising. You
Yep.
know, if you had 16-foot ceilings, you'd lose a lot of your heat to the height. I'm amazed at how much my 10-foot ceilings in here, how much heat sets at the top 2.5 feet. And the fans help a lot running them in reverse, but it's still, when you go up on a ladder in the dead of the winter, it's amazing how much heat sits up there. So it's all things to think about. So I think the heating and cooling in the livable areas of like the shop, I don't think it would be ideal for most people to have one big room.
No, no, no,
Is what
no.
I'm.
I
Yeah,
would divvy it up. I'd have a
yeah,
drive-through area where I could drive through and drop off my lumber, but have a ton of lumber storage
yes,
in
yes,
that area where I could actually leave a vehicle or two.
yeah,
And then what I would do is I would have an area in my shop that I would have my lumber that I'm getting ready to build with and all my sheet goods,
yeah.
you
So
know. But it's all about storage of things.
it works out really nice. It's not by design that I put my CNC in the back and I can actually back up to the CNC to unload sheet
Yep.
goods. So it never even touches my shop. It goes straight. We pull straight off the van when we're doing a lot of sheets. We can pull them straight off. So it's really nice to have the drivability up to the big machines for sure. So I think it's where it's also important, and you all both have that, to have a garage door into your main shop where if you wanted to drive into it, you could. I think that's important.
Yeah,
Hmm.
that's one thing that I also have thought a lot about because I would love to have a boat again. And I think it'd be really cool if I had a section where I could like back the boat in. And I like the idea of, being able to drive through. So like I can
Mhm.
drive in on one side, like have a thing that goes around the shop. I drive in on one side, come through, disconnect the boat and drive out.
Yep.
But that's like a creature comfort type thing. If you like, what's the minimum height ceilings that you would want in your shop? I know you guys are both kind of on the double story, but like, let's just say it was a
10,
single story. What would be the
10.
max?
10
10.
foot for sure. I had 9 before in my basement, and it wasn't quite enough. I was hitting the ceiling pretty regularly
Yep.
when I was flipping things over, but I have 10 in here, and I don't know if I've ever hit the ceiling with a 10. I've hit the fans before, but I've not
Yeah.
hit the ceiling. Yeah.
You wouldn't be interested in going any taller than that?
Well, I have 12 on the other side, and it's fine. But I think if you're thinking just for heating and cooling, I feel like 10 is plenty.
If you did 12, would you definitely want fans
Yeah, I have them
to
fans
help
with 10.
circulate the air?
You need them with 10 even.
Yeah,
But
I have my fan up high to bring down the heat in the wintertime, circulate
yeah,
the air.
Yeah.
yeah. I mean, 10 to 12. 12 may be on the little high side unless you wanted additional storage up there that you don't get to very much. That's what I did with my section over there. But 10 seems like it's not too, if it seems cozy, it seems like it's got the right feng swizzle factor.
Mm-hmm.
Let me ask you
Feng
this.
swizzle.
Feng swizzle.
Feng swizzle.
What type of building would you like? Would you be more inclined to go with a metal structure or a stick frame or like a pole barn style? Like if you got to pick which one of the, because each one has their pros and
Does
cons.
does money matter?
I
Because
mean,
I'll
no.
go.
Oh,
I'd
I
go.
know where you're
dream
going to
shop.
timber
I'd go.
frame.
I'd go a post and beam.
Yeah, yeah. If since money does usually matter, I would do probably what they would consider a pole barn and do spray foam on it, and you can finish it out however you want on the inside.
So, okay, out of those three, stick framing, like a standard home that's built now, metal or pole barn, timber frame, whatever. Out of those three, what order do you think those are in terms of cost? I would say metal's probably the cheapest,
I don't know. Metal's
or
pretty
would stick
expensive
frame be the
now.
cheapest?
Steel, the cost of steel went up,
Pole
and I'm
barn is
shocked
probably
at what.
pole barn is least expensive. I'd say.
Yeah, yeah, pole barn because trusses are cheaper than steel trusses.
Then stick.
Really?
Then
Yeah, oh, yeah,
metal.
for sure.
Then
You think
metal.
metal's the most expensive?
Oh, for sure,
Yeah.
for sure.
Wow, I would have always thought metal would have been the less expensive option.
You know who's got a really cool space is Scott Paxton.
Yeah,
Hmm.
his is cool. The silo
Yeah,
looking
Pax
thing.
Woodworking. Yeah,
yeah,
it's kind of neat. It
Yeah.
looks spacious inside.
yeah.
Yeah.
Kyle Stemplehurst gave one of the best tips ever. He said, if you're ever going to build a quote pole barn, do not tell your community that that's what it is because it freaks them out. He
Yeah.
says, just say you're building a building. Do not call it a
Yeah.
pole barn because he said when pole barn makes the process slow down on getting approvals.
Yeah.
And that
Huh.
was a good tip. He
Because they
said he
think
runs into it.
because barn, they think
Yeah.
livestock.
Yep. He was building a house for Greg, the guy that works for. I know it's not for Greg. He's building a little house. The last thing I saw he was working on, and he pointed that out when he was doing the foundation. He's like he didn't have any trouble getting the approvals because he did not call it a pole barn.
Well,
Yeah.
I mean, don't they want to know what kind of structure it is that's being built?
They do, but it's wood. It's wood frame with metal siding. You know, it's not a to them. It doesn't matter about that part.
Yeah.
But I
That's a lot of the construction out here in Indiana. Anyhow, is a pole barn for an additional structure on your property other than the home.
yeah.
Yeah, Steve, my buddy Steve at work's getting something done. He works on cars and he's getting a pole barn put up. The most expensive thing is the pad.
Yep. That's the priciest thing for me too. Whenever, even though
Yeah.
I do all the work myself, that's the priciest thing.
Yeah. You
I,
know what's
I
really cool on Bourbon and the Boys? We were talking about driveways and stuff like that. Even crushed rock's expensive.
Oh, it's crazy. Yeah, somebody on the
Yeah.
call said it was $800 a load, which is crazy. Mine's 450 a load for a
Yeah.
triaxle. So their cost was double what mine is, but that
Yeah.
still adds up. It took 4 loads to do our driveway once a
Yeah.
year.
Boy,
That was
I'll
like
tell you, we had some
$1,600.
we had some great conversations on Bourbon with the Boys, didn't we?
Yes, we
That was
did.
a great night, Friday night.
It was. We got a lot of
Yeah.
experts on there in different subject matters.
Ooh, God, I laughed a lot.
Yeah, I did too. I did too. It's funny.
What a bunch of characters, huh? All these splinters, man.
That was cool. Another thing that I would do for sure is radiant heating in the floor.
Yeah.
I think that would be
Ooh.
really nice.
Ooh, yeah.
That's not a big deal. I mean, there's a lot of do-it-yourself type things you can do there. You can run the PEX like tubing type in the floor yourself. And I know a guy who built a shop and he ran the tubing in the floor and just capped it up on the top in a closet just for if he ever wanted to do the radiant.
Mm-hmm.
He just got it pre-done pretty much for it before they poured the concrete.
So there's a good question. Like, what kind of flooring would you want? Because then there's the whole you can have an elevated floor and run ductwork and everything in the floor and run all of your electrical in the floor and it sits above your concrete. Like, is that something that would interest you, or would you rather? I kind of like that idea. I think it's cool, and plus, it'd be nice to be standing on like a wood subfloor.
Tongue and groove,
Yeah,
pine. It's nothing more comfortable, even if it's just on small sleepers.
sleepers.
It's you got
Yeah,
a spring to it, even if you don't run anything. I
right,
wanted to do that at Festool in the training center. I wanted to put tongue and groove flooring in there, wide board
right. You
and
know,
put sleepers.
that would be something that would be interesting to price out the difference if you were saying what size it was. What is the difference in cost in having somebody do a like a 3 foot crawl under like block all the way around, and then doing a conventional floor, with subfloor and do like what Sedge is talking about? Or is it cheaper to do a whole slab, do sleepers, and put the wood on top of there? Which one? I could see it kind of concrete's so expensive. I could see it possibly being cheaper to do the 3 rows of block or 4 rows of block all the way around and footer, or maybe a close. Because I would rather do the rafters and put the floor down that way than do the sleeper. I mean, a lot of people don't have a choice,
So
but
you're saying like actually have a crawl space underneath the.
I mean, it would be worth comparing the cost to the two. It would be worth seeing. I mean, a lot of times on a pole barn, you don't dig out like that, but they kind of end up digging that out. And then if you did do that, then you're doing conventional 2x4 framing on it instead of the pole, which that part's not that expensive. Trusses are going to be the same cost no matter what on the wood, but if you're just changing that side profile, that's that's a question that Kyle, our Billings, would know right off the bat. He would know that just like that for sure of what the difference in cost is. But and then that would give you the benefit of being able to run utilities and running power, putting floor outlets in, even
Yeah.
running
That'd
dust
be so
collection
cool. Yeah.
underneath it. And a lot of people don't have that luxury of doing that in the floor. It's usually always a solid floor or in a basement.
The dust
But
collection in the floor and outlets in the floor would be one of the greatest things in a
it
wood
would
shop.
be,
You wouldn't have any drops. You wouldn't have anything. It would just be, you'd have
yeah,
short, hose runs from the tool you know, down to a inlet for the dust collection. Oh, God, that'd be so cool.
yeah. You
I
could
like
even
the
put
tongue
your
and groove pine
yeah.
idea because so that would be another thing. So Ronnie, your shop is definitely more warm. Mine and Sedge's shops are definitely more cold because they have the American green lights and they're set up to be more. We don't have any natural light coming in. We're set up more for like filming and having consistent conditions, which I do like for filming, but at the same time, I think one, I would definitely want more warmth in a shop. We've talked about that on here before. You go into like Eric Gorgeous's shop or Don when I went to go visit him. It's just nice. It's like wood tones. It smells like a wood shop. It's just awesome. But I would want, and I can't believe I'm about to say this, I would want tons of windows. However, I would have blackout
Mhm.
automatic shades
Yeah.
that
Yep.
if I'm filming, I can hit the button, they all come down.
Same.
I block
Same.
out all natural light. But like today, I worked in the shop with my garage door open. I wasn't filming. It was a
Hmm.
beautiful day outside.
Hmm.
I wanted that natural light and that air to come in. And I do miss that.
And
I
you know what
definitely
happens
miss it.
now? Because today my garage door was open, and I found out at work that a chipmunk is in my shop.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
I have a
So
raccoon in
they
my
don't
ceiling
know.
right
They
now.
don't know if it left. So
Yeah.
if I walk out there tonight and he's eating some stuff, that's okay with me. I may have a chipmunk. I think they live underneath my driveway. Not
Yeah, they
sure.
like to do that.
They
I think
like the burrow.
the blackout shades are a great idea. I did the shutters that work out really nice. The big shutters are on rolling. We can go out there and push them shut. I looked and priced out the blackout shades for that size. It was crazy high. Like it was going to be like 4,000, 5,000 for the, and I was like, no, I'm just going to make these shutters for it. And
Wow.
I made
I
them out
mean,
of
there's a lot of
T11.
like inexpensive blackout options that
Well,
do work very well, but
smaller the windows, but for large
yeah.
windows, they get you when it's
Well,
large
especially if they're
windows.
motorized.
Yeah,
If
yeah.
they're motorized, they're
So
absurd. Yeah, we're getting ready to put a
it's
bunch of those in our house.
yeah, yeah. That's where I was pricing out. But the amount of times that we shut the shutters are very rare. I almost shut one a minute ago when the sun was coming down because it was so bright, but it's already down. That's how long it
Yeah.
lasts.
Do you
Maybe
know what's
20
a
minutes.
Do you know what costs a small fortune? It's motorized screens.
Yeah, they do.
Yeah.
Oh,
And
I
then
can
those
do
those
total. I
guys
can
that
do.
rip people off and know to install them.
I can do total blackout on those. I've never done it before, but they
What?
some of the it looks like a screen, but it's completely blackout material. If somebody wanted to go across, and I can do up to 22 feet wide, 23 feet wide, and 16 feet tall. So it would be better price if somebody had a wall of windows to just do that on the outside and hit the button and bring them down versus doing them on the inside. That would make more sense. And also, you wouldn't have to worry about them getting dusty and all that other kind of stuff.
I still have a great opportunity for you, Ronnie. We build a covered patio. We put some of these screens in. I mean, just think of all the content you can get.
Yeah. The screens are more doable because you could measure for me and I trust your measuring and I would have it ordered and then we would just come and install it. But don't give me that metric stuff.
Yeah.
If
7,042 millimeters.
I need to send that into the screen company sometimes, I would send it to them in metric. They'd be like, "What is this?" Oh, that's funny. I have found myself using it more, by the way. I use the on the fast cap double one that has on both sides. I started paying attention to it, and it definitely better when you're doing half C's on measurements. And I'm just starting to become more aware of what it is, like at least knowing the comparables.
Mhm.
I just know Imperial so perfectly. I just don't want to change.
Yeah.
Don't be scared.
Yeah, I'm not
Come
scared.
over, come over to the bright side.
Come over to
Yeah.
the right side. No, I do see the benefits of it sometimes, but I think that's a big part of it. Once somebody learns all the fractions, 7/8, 5/8, all those, they know it all. They're like, no, I'm too good at it. I'm not switching.
No.
Hey, Ronnie, I got a question. I'm looking at that cis air in the background. And
Yeah,
do you have plugged into there a USB charging?
I do. I've been charging my phone on it all day today.
That's so cool.
Yeah, that's a great idea. So Sedge sees my cis air, and I actually did not even do that on purpose. I turned it this way because I have the countertop over here. I have the cis air. I've had it for 2 days, 3 days, and I got it out today and used it while I was doing the edge sanding, the routing on the radius, because I had a bit doing that 1.5 inch, and I couldn't find my cup that goes on there that really helps out with it when you're going along the
Hmm.
edge. So in front of the window, the sun was kind of coming in. I saw how much dust was coming off, even though I had the dust collector hooked up. And I put that on, I turned it on, and I could see little dusties in the air, and I watched them disappear. They just disappeared in the shop. So that was pretty cool. Um, that I'm going to use that a lot. I have found something though that I'm struggling with, and I saw Sedge do it on the live too. I keep wanting to push that green light to turn it off.
Isn't that crazy?
I want to hit it every time. There's a green
It's
light that tells
crazy.
you, and I hit it, and I'm like, that's exactly what Sedge did on the
Oh
on
yeah,
the
yeah.
live.
It's
Um,
such a mm,
I'll get used to it, but it's nice also because there is a plug on there, so you have it plugged in. You get to. It's almost like you have a remote outlet with wherever you're working,
yeah.
which makes sense for I think the way I'm going to use this in the shop is on my dolly. I'm going to have it on the dolly, and that gives me an outlet to use from there. And then when I go, like when I know I can use it on a job site, I'm going to put it in the van. So there's some tools sometimes that I don't have two of, and this will probably be one of them. But it's nice. I can use it in both places. The most common place I think I'm going to use it is when I'm working either in one of our rentals or someone's house, and I'll just let it be running so that they
Yep.
don't have that fine dust settling after I leave. I think it's important to use the CTs with tool, but this is like an extra on top of it.
Yeah.
So I'm pretty excited about it.
Yeah. I think I'm going to be bringing one home just to have around.
It's
Uh,
it's nice. Also the lights. I've been able to play around with the new lights. very impressed with them. I have three of the older style that are the ones that the radio was built into, and we use those all the time. But this one's like upgraded times 10 because it's so thin. The little that was one's the Cal Light,
Yeah.
KAL, and the other
Yeah.
one is called what?
KBS.
KBS. KBS is the bigger one, right?
Yes.
So I use the Duo Light, which is the large that barely
Yep.
fits into a sustainer. I use that all the time. I see the new large one pretty much replacing the Duo Light
Be
for
really careful with it
which
because
what?
when you have that all the way up, that thing's blinding.
Oh, I know. I know. I blinded Cameron and I blinded Kelly with it. They
Oh,
both were like, turn away. Yeah, you really got to be careful with not turning it up. The Duo Light probably still does a better job of dispersing light across an
yes.
entire room,
Yes.
but most of the time you don't need an entire room of light. So that one is going to be my new go-to in addition to the little one. I love that little one is like I could see having more of those, two or three of those.
Yep.
They're pretty cool. So I'm excited about both of them. They've been a nice add to the collection, and I can see
Cool.
using this a lot. It's
Well,
amazing how much filtration space is in there. I pulled the filters out and looked at that. Gosh, I mean, it's like four filters. They're the
Yep.
size of a sustainer.
Yep.
Very
I
cool.
like it. You
Yeah.
know, I saw. I think I don't even know if I mentioned this. I think I mentioned it on Bourbon with the Boys. That was the brainchild of Chris Devlin and Thomas Estelle from uh, Germany. He's actually from Austria, and
Such a good idea.
he is such a great guy. And Chris and him made one, and they sent it over to Germany and made a presentation. And look what happened.
So cool.
Yeah,
And I like your idea of adding the remote to it too. I could see that being handy in the shop.
$16 on Amazon.
That's cool. Yeah, that's I see that being a nice add-on. And the plug was a great add. That's
Yeah,
such a nice add-on.
yeah.
is it
So yeah,
adjustable on speed?
two speeds. Low is what I would call medium,
Hmm.
and then there's high. There's not really a low, I don't think. I think even the
Nope.
low is kind of a medium kind of speed to me.
Yeah. On yeah, it's on the low setting or one setting, it's 55 decibels. It jumps up to like 63 decibels. So it's still
It is fairly
not
loud.
as loud, not as loud as a CT. A CT is 67 decibels.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But
but it's good that you know it's on. Unlike the Powermatic, when you leave it on for 3 weeks, you don't realize it's still on. you know.
Well,
really,
that's why you get grit automation.
Yeah, I'm not there yet.
I was
I'll
doing
get
stuff in
there.
the shop today. Um, and I was like, I had the door to the garage open because I kept going in and out, working on things. And a couple of times I walked out, like after I made some cuts and stuff, and I'm like, oh, because I walk right by the fan. It's like right next to the door. And I'm like, oh, the fan's on. You look up and there's like dust all over the filter. I love it. Absolutely love it. I think that if you don't get anything else from grit, get one of those for a air filtration system. And I
That's
bet you at
good.
some point they'll probably figure out a way to have a trigger for the festival one, which I would assume it could probably just operate off of a 120-volt trigger, just like
Mm,
anything else. It's just a matter of
yeah.
getting the wavelengths for the remote switch and all that stuff right. Because you can hang that thing, can you not?
oh
Oh
yeah, there's
yeah.
a
Yeah.
kit to hang it.
Yeah.
I'll tell you
Yeah,
what,
you
man,
can.
that thing moves a ton of air. When I saw it in your shop, Sedge, and you turned it on, I could feel it from across the room.
Oh yeah, it
It was
does.
loud, but
Absolutely.
I could feel it from across the room.
Yep,
Yeah,
it
it
moves air.
does. It'll be great for when you're working in a bathroom. I think about times when I have to tear like a bathroom floor up that's
Hmm.
rotten, and you're having to use a reciprocating saw, and you're having to you can't collect the dust with a tool very easily at all. Like I've had Cameron stand there before with a CT holding it by the blade, you know, or just that kind of demolition work. It's throwing dust up, and it'd be so nice to have it in there for that.
Yeah, man. I had to route out a groove for my pocket door the other day, and I was throwing dust all over the kitchen and everything on. And that was the time I was like, damn it, it would be so nice to have one of those things. Because later
Yeah.
on I found fine dust just everywhere because I was doing it in MDF, right? So it
Yeah.
threw fine dust everywhere. But
MDF is dust free. I don't understand why you had dust.
Oh no. Max is getting ready to come in here, and it's okay. It's
It's
time for me to jump off anyway, because Nicole says that I need to be done by 7.
yeah.
There he is.
There's a head. There's a top of a head.
Oh man, this little
Oh.
guy. Oh,
He's already
today's
got his-
Patrick from Leather by Dragonfly's birthday.
Happy
Oh,
birthday, Patrick.
Happy birthday.
Happy birthday, Patrick. He's in Cancun right now.
Cancun.
He sent me a
Yeah.
picture with his shirt off, and I almost threw up.
Oh my God. Okay, so it's actually today. It's not when this is dropping.
Correct. It's actually today.
Yeah, it's actually today.
Don't worry, honey. I'm about to get off the.
He's in trouble.
Yeah.
Oh, there you go.
I'm about to
Hi.
get off so you can go for your run. Hi. Yeah, but say bye-bye.
Hey,
Bye-bye.
tell her she doesn't have to run. I can give her a ride.
Yeah. Ronnie says you don't have to run, honey. He can give you a ride. She'll be waiting outside. All right. Well, oh man, my microphone. My microphone's falling over. Well, thank you everybody for listening to episode 176. I don't even think we said it. We have so
Is it
many
176?
episodes now. It's hard to even keep track.
Yep, it's 176.
We're coming up on 200. We got to figure out something cool to do for 200. Ooh, we need to take a look at that and figure out when 200 happens, because it might happen pretty close to the meetup.
Oh man, we should do it without clothes.
I love it. Approved.
Okay.
All right. Sleep on that, everybody.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Bye.
Bye.
Okay, fine, Sedge.
Bye-bye.